And we're back, boys and girls. Welcome into the D2L Western Challenge playoffs. This is game 2 of our leadoff best-of-3 Empire taking on Fnatic. And Fnatic, well, I would say they stole a game 1 win, but really they just kind of grinded it out. And by the time they were done, bludgeoned the hell out of Empire to take it in game 1. Now just one more went away from advancing to the upper bracket finals. And, of course, that'll put them 1 series away from making it into our grand finals as a whole. Empire coming in as our #2 overall seed. Got a bye through the first round. Fnatic not so lucky. Had to beat Na'Vi to get to where they are right now. But they're absolutely rolling. And guess what? We're going to get to see another Excalibur Meepo. That makes it a good day.
Yeah, I can't believe they picked it up this early, too, which is, I mean, I guess when you're that confident and you don't want to get banned out in the second phase. Because, like, banning out in the first phase, you can do it, I suppose. But really, do you really want to waste your first 2 bans on a Meepo? Like,
right.
I guess, suppose now you do, I guess, if you've seen what Excalibur can do with it. But I will say that the one game that we casted where he played Meepo, okay, he played amazingly, but he had the start that he should not have had.
Right.
Like, that was a 4-0 kill lead before creeps got to their respective spots on the map. Like, that yeah, should not happen. So regardless of what hero he was, I think he was going to take off. Just the nature of him being Meepo really helped. Because when you go into lane, we talked about this a little bit, off camera, but when you go into lane as a Meepo at level 3 with 2 Meepos, you actually will never die, because what happens is you just spam poof with both Meepos, spam out the creep wave. You don't have even a chance to give the other teammate, or sorry, the other opponent to even do damage to you. Like, it's just not there. Right. You just double poof, then go to the jungle, start poofing some more, maybe send one back to the well if you need to go regen, and then swap it out. So you actually cannot do anything to Meepo in that regard.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and that's the thing. Whenever you talk about a player's performance, I mean, we saw just how good he actually is on the hero mechanically and understanding it. But in terms of overall performance, you have to be willing to evaluate secondary factors. And like you said, it didn't really matter what he was on whenever your team starts out and the other team just flat out feeds you right at the beginning. So, but, you know, it's a new game, and I know the viewers are going to be very excited. If you've been keeping up with Fnatic at all since Era's been sidelined, there are a couple of heroes that you just always want to see Excalibur have a chance to play. Meepo and Tinker, the 2 atop that list. Meepo, most notably. And what's crazy is one of the other best Meepo player in the West is no doubt No-Tail. So they've got the 2 best, and arguably the 2 best Meepo players in the entire West on one team. And that gives them a lot of versatility. That's the kind of thing, maybe you pick a Meepo here, and then you switch it up and pick a Tinker, like later on in the game if you wanted to do something like that. But I do like what Empire is doing to try and mix things up and try to make life hard for that Meepo. The Ancient Apparition, obviously, with Ice Blast is a great way to secure kills from distance on Meepo, or to at least make it easier for your team to finish him off. And, of course, removing the chance for healing and all that. Doom, a good answer to Brewmaster as well. If you end up getting an early blink on the Doom, you can get some vision, get an eye on the Brew, and Doom him at the beginning of a fight. Suddenly that hero is just not worth the pick at all. And then they go ahead and get another great lane phase hero in the Lich, who also gives you a deceptive amount of burst early on. Ice Armor now works on towers, as we know, and it's a small factor, but worth mentioning after the buff. But Chain Frost is also excellent against Meepo in the mid-game.
I think Chain Frost is actually even better now against Meepo if you can get an Ags. Oh, it's one of the few times where you can say, well, okay, Ags is, on paper, it sounds really, really awesome having infinite balances. But it usually never happens unless you just throw it on Ancients.
Right.
Which is actually really trap. No, which is actually really funny to watch, by the way. You can just do it a couple times, and there's just a shitload of Chain Frost bouncing around forever. But in a real team fight, it actually usually never happens. But with Meepo, you can actually see it come into play, because usually by that time you have an Aghanim. This is by the time that Meepo, you know, has level 17 and has all his Meepos up with Ags.
Right.
And he's got, you know, he's pretty tanky, and that's when it comes into play. Like, it bounces forever because he just lives for so long. And it slows him too, so it's difficult for him to spread out and things like that. So I actually think Lich with Aghanims is really, really good against Meepo. This is, by the way, the first time I think I've ever seen an Earthshaker ban. At least myself personally. It'd be nice to see stats. Shout out to Nahas,
there was a time going back like 2 patches ago, actually, when he actually was really popular. He was first pick, first ban. So I've seen it, but this is no doubt in this particular instance, Hani is the reason that hero is banned. He has been so good on the Shaker.
Yeah, he really has, and definitely warrants the ban from Team Empire. So nice respect ban coming out from them. Fnatic taking a lot of time on this 3rd pick here after the Meepo. It's going to be a Centaur. So again, with the more tanky heroes, and I've seen Fnatic do this a lot lately.
Oh, yeah. You know, it gives you a little bit of a fallback. Like, even if you fall behind in the laning phase, even if you're under some pressure, having these tanky heroes, it gives you time, you know, because it does take a while. And it does take item development to really get to the point that you can just run over heroes like a Doom and a Centaur in particular. And coming back around just for a second, what you were talking about so far as the Aghanims upgrade on Lich, I agree, it could be a great item. That's going to be a lot of farm that has to be spread around, though, because the front 3 heroes that Empire has drafted are all 3 heroes who really have Scepter at their core. Lich, not so much, but yeah, the Ancient Apparition and the Brewmaster Scepter is absolutely core on those 2. So if Lich decides to build one, that's a whole lot of gold they got to spread, and hell, now it's even thinner, as Phantom Assassin, obviously a fantastic hero, has really seen her star rise, thanks in no small part to players like Artur and so on, and I want to say the other one who has really brought it back, Envy. I'm almost positive, actually. I mean, the hero's always been good. Loda played it for a long time as one of the few to play it as one position. Yeah. But now we're beginning to see the power of the hero, and I really like her in either situation. I've kind of been big on the hero for a while in terms of just she's underutilized and has always felt that way. But no surprise to see Skywrath Mage picked up for Fly again. 18 kills and 18 assists in his last game with the hero. Fantastic play from him too.
Yeah, actually the last time we saw Phantom Assassin, what the hell? Phantom Assassin against Meepo was yesterday. Fnatic versus I was gonna say Boast, but yeah, Na'Vi. Yep. But that was kind of a skewed instance just because of the start that Meepo had and just the Fnatic had in general.
Right.
So Phantom Assassin got like no farm that game. But this game, if they're able to not just crumble before the creeps come out, Phantom Assassin is actually quite good, especially if you go for the Battle Fury build, I think. I really do like the Battle Fury build, even though yesterday when we cast EG, Arteezy got it around 21 minutes, which is actually pretty late. He just went out of control. Like, you farm so fast when you get those crits if you have things stacked like your Ancients or whatnot. So, yeah, I hope it goes for Battle Fury build. It's one of my favorites. Obviously, that's not to say that the other ones don't work, but I just like that one.
The Battle Fury build, I mean, I remember when there were 2 schools of thought on how to play PA, and that's, of course, going back a patch or 2. The way that Loda used to play her the most commonly was as a farming 1 position out of the tri-lane, and he would go phase drums BKB.
Right.
And it just worked out because the timing of the BKB was almost always, if you were on par with your farm anyway, was almost always as you hit level 11 and took your level 2 ultimate. So you didn't really need damage. You just went with this well-rounded kind of mobility-based, survivability-based build, and you were going to have a lot of damage coming out of that. And that's still an option, even though it's not nearly as popular as like the Midas Battle Fury. But I think in this situation, it might honestly be worthwhile to take that approach, because whenever you go with the Battle Fury build, that's much more late-game oriented, and I don't know that it's a great decision to ever go, you know what, there's a Meepo that's played very well by a really good player. Let's go as late as we can. Like, I just don't think that's the right call most of the time.
Yeah, I think Battle Fury is just good too because, you know, the cleave factor onto a Meepo.
That's
help, nice. Yeah. Also on paper, like, I still think Phantom Assassin's really good against Meepo. Like, the 50% evasion makes him kind of useless. He does have poof, of course, but when he's the combo is you blink in with one, you poof the other one's in, but they only get half of the poof damage really. So the magical damage coming out isn't so strong. It's mostly like the right click damage once you get level 17 in your Ags. But it's a Meepo and a Tiny. Hani's playing the Tiny this game, so again we've talked about how they bounce back and forth, and actually it's Big Daddy No Tail on the Doom. So yeah, this is again one of their strengths. I think being able to be so versatile that anyone can play pretty much anything on Fnatic.
Yep.
And also, I didn't mention, but yeah, the last pick here for Team Empire is going to be that Timbersaw for Resolution. I don't think I've ever seen him play that.
It seems like I have, but to tell you the truth, Timbersaw is one of those heroes that he seems really up and down. And you know, obviously a lot of it comes down to metagame, and it comes down to patch status and all of that. How do you feel about the hero right now in general?
5 seconds remaining.
It's hard to say. Like, I want to say it's still okay, but I also remember in the back of my mind that I think it has like one of the lowest win rates recently.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's that bad.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, is like, why is it that he has fallen off, not just in popularity, but in his success rate?
I think people just found better off lanes. Like, because he was so popular mostly in the off lane, and people just found better off lanes. At the time, Centaur was booming. Everyone loved Centaur, but then they nerfed him. Now Tidehunter is like kind of the bigger thing, and because they buffed him. So I think it's not so much that he became bad. It's just that there were other off lanes that became into the picture. And then now if he ran him mid, I think he was still as strong as he ever was.
Right.
Because I think he's actually a very strong mid. And it looks like if they keep it right now and they don't swap, it is going to be Resolution mid on the Timbersaw. And I think it's actually really good here. They have 3 strength heroes. Timbersaw is obviously better against strength heroes with his Whirling Death ability, and it's also good against Meepo too. Like just in general, having lots of burst AOE onto a hero that has multiple targets. So,
well, let's still pause for the moment, and hopefully we'll be underway very, very quickly. I want to once again thank everyone for tuning in today and, of course, the days before and looking ahead to the next few days. We're going to be bringing you 2 best-of-3s a day from now until Tuesday. Tuesday will be, of course, our best-of-5 grand finals. And, yeah, this has been a fun tournament so far. And, we face some challenges with it for the most part just because of trying to work around the big events like Dream League and, of course, ESL and so on and so on. But we've gotten good snapshots of these teams. We saw them in the group stage, then we had a long period of downtime. A lot of that owed to the TI qualifiers and a few other things that just kind of made it so we didn't have time, and it was unrealistic to expect teams to try to sandwich these things in. But on top of it, now we're seeing these teams kind of grind out these matches all in one big stretch. Really happy with the scheduling we were able to find. This gap between Dream League and ESL. So a lot of these teams, we saw them at Dream League, and we're going to see them not just at ESL, but at TI2, or TI4 as well is probably the more clear way to say that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and may as well go ahead and plug some stuff while we still have the pause. All of this action has been brought to you by HyperX. We're live here in their LAN area, in their studios in Fountain Valley, so make sure you let them know if you're enjoying the show. We hope you are. And I know they would love to hear from you on Twitter, so follow them at HyperX. And that's all I got time for, but that's okay. So long as the folks who make this tournament possible get their airtime, I'm kind of okay with that. So let's talk about the Brewmaster real quick. It is Mag on the Brew. Mag traditionally in offlane. Looks like it might be a duo lane as he's moving out with Vanscore now. How do you feel about a Brew run anywhere but in mid? I actually like it a bit, I think. I feel like Brew's a little all-in-ish whenever you run him out of mid and you give him that much priority, because if he doesn't make a lot of things happen with the early level 6, he can just kind of fall off. But it's a double-edged sword. If you run him in a situation like this, maybe the laning phase goes well, he's later to 6 than usual, or even by the standard of a duo lane or a tri-lane or a solo lane, and then he also has trouble making an impact.
Yeah, another pause coming out actually. Lag Brew, but I actually really do prefer Brew in mid. Like I think he's just better in mid just because his nuke is actually pretty good damage. Yeah. It doesn't cost too much mana, and you can bottle co constantly, and you can never kill him. Like the evasion that you get from Drunken Brawler, and if you decide to level up Drunken Haze, it's just very, very difficult to actually kill him. So he can actually spam out waves. He can get pretty much all his CS. He's got great attack animation. He really does. And I think that's something to be said about a lot of heroes. So I think he's really good in mid. I normally would hate to see him offlane, but because there is a lich, it totally changes. It totally changes everything. So
right.
That'll be a very interesting lane to see. I'm very curious to see what Fnatic decides to put up against it, and I'm also curious to see how they run Big Daddy No Tail on the Doom. He has boots first with no stats items. Interesting there, Hani. He's playing. He also has boots first on Tiny.
Yeah.
With a ward, so this is going to be some fun stuff, I'm sure. As Excalibur's got another poor man's shield from mid, maybe, with some cool tangos.
This is just like, depending on how they run this, if they end up running Hani on the Tiny as like a roaming kind of AoE support, damage, the initiator and all that, this could be a Blink Tiny by the time all is said and done. And, I mean, the Scepter build is so damn strong on him. But at the same time, this is just something Fnatic does not care to do. Again, they just pick heroes based on what they feel like they need to round out their team in every possible way. And when you look at all the heroes they have, Doom, Meepo, Centaur, and Tiny, usually all 4 demand a significant amount of farm. But they're just not going to worry about it on the Tiny, I don't think. I think they're just going to treat him almost like an Earthshaker. And that's something, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a Tiny that is put purely in a support role. I've seen him. I've seen Blink Tiny, where you skip Scepter and you just go for Blink and AOE items and that kind of thing. But usually, even then, he's given like a duo mid or a duo top. Duo safe, I guess, is the more clear way to say that as well. But yeah, this should be fun. It should be really interesting to see out of Fnatic. Hopefully, whatever lag issues are plaguing us at the moment will be resolved shortly. We are playing in a situation where every team's on the same server, so. Good news about that. Any ping issues are not related to one team or one player having to play from distance.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he also pre-skilled the toss which I think is a little bit of a mistake. I think it's always best to just wait and see what happens and then evaluate the situation and skill then. But so that maybe tells me they have like a plan in mind, like with these double boots. And okay, I think they're predicting this Lich dual lane to be bottom. Normally when you pick a Lich, you always do that kind of thing. It's either dual lane mid or dual lane bottom, just because it kind of it's a waste of the hero, I feel, to throw him in a tri lane. Like it's just, he doesn't actually do that well in tri lanes. He does better in situations where he can get more experience by himself or with one other hero. So that's why dual lanes are just so much more effective. If they're predicting this, there's either two ways to go about it. You just put a solo hero against the dual lane because you don't want to, you know, have all that experience being shared by multiple members. So it's either one hero or you totally take it to them, take 3 heroes and get in their face. Because as far as the Lich goes, yeah, he can keep you lane control, but he has nothing to offer as far as stuns or escape mechanisms. He's very easy to kill if you can catch him out. But he is fast. He has got a very fast movement speed, 315 without boots. So maybe that's the decision to buy both of these boots just to get in their face in this Lich dual lane bottom.
Now we do have a reconnect on the Brew, and hopefully his ping is what it should be. It is sufficiently early that if we need to remake for a different server, I don't know that anyone will really mind.
They wouldn't care, but hopefully he can just figure it out.
Okay, go Dota. Well, that's actually Fnatic saying that. So, Empire waiting to confirm. While we're continuing to do plugs, by the way, make sure you follow Tralf and myself on Twitter. You can find me. I'm at AC, at AYESEE, and he's at Tralf Dota, TRALFDOTA. And, yeah, while we're just kind of killing time at the moment. Been a blast casting with you, man. I've really enjoyed working with you over the last few months, and looks like we're going to have a little bit more time to get our bromance on. But as Brew once again disconnects. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and hope we can do some stuff together. And I've yet to play a game of Dota with you. And I know your MMR is significantly high. Like, what MMR are you?
Oh God, do we need to go through this? I was at like 5,800, and I literally lost like 400. And like, don't drink in Dota. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, that's
bad things happen to good people.
I'm not gonna lie. Of all the things I hate in Dota, and I'm sorry if you're listening and you're this type, if it's the way you enjoy the game, that's fine. Just saying the way I play Dota, there's nothing I hate more than getting into a game and the first thing someone does is proceed, as you're running to lane, proceed to tell you of all the substances they have ingested that will interfere with their mental faculties. Right now.
Oh, yeah, great. Exactly. I'm going mid or feed.
Yeah. Dude, just rolled a spliffy going mid. Like, we literally had that happen. Me and my friends playing yesterday. Said something along those lines. There were 2 dudes that we queued with. Like, yeah, we took down the roll spliffy, but now we're ready to roll. And they proceeded to not play Dota very well. And I don't like it.
I think the funniest thing ever is when people on the other team, you can see them fighting for mid. Okay, like if you're fighting for mid on your team, it's not funny at all, right?
No,
you're pissed off. Yeah. Get the fuck out of my lane. What are you doing here? You're like 1,000 MMR under me. Get out of here. So it's very very sad, and you're angry.
That happens to me all the time.
When it happens, but when it happens to the other team, it's fucking hilarious. Like the other day, I was playing and I saw literally 3 people in mid. It was. They were all fighting for mid. It was like a Pudge, of course.
A Quap, probably.
A Pudge, an Invoker, and like a Shadow Fiend. Just all sitting in mid on the other team. I'm like, lol, this is an easy win.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's
good stuff. But yeah, I was saying, I was like 5,800 and losing massive amounts of MMR because of drinking. It does not bode well. And I always play, my hero of choice when I'm drunk is the Lone Druid.
Oh,
I don't know why. It's probably like the worst hero I could possibly pick. Yeah. But for some reason, that's my go-to.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you need with the hero that you have to play very safe with and play very, very conservative with and then play very, very precisely with. Make sure you lower your inhibitions and make sure you reduce your ability to react quickly. Yes.
Dude, the jungle is so appealing when you've been drinking. It's just like,
isn't it? It's like a warm blanket. It's like, I'm going to play a single-player game and a 10-player game. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, I totally have been there. In fact, I own the Legion Commander Arcana, mostly because I had a sip or 2 or 12 or 30. Yeah, I remember waking up the next day and being like, yeah, I played Dota. How bad did I do? Like, barely being able to remember, and going and seeing that, 1, I had purchased the Legion Commander Arcana, and 2, that I had apparently fed 4 games in a row with said Arcana. But looks like we're still waiting on our Brew to come back. And we can continue to chop it up. Okay, he's restarting his PC rat quick. But hell, we've reached a point. I think we're on 2-minute delay. Should have probably done this before. We can open Twitch chat. If anybody's got questions or anything fun, safe for stream, we'll answer it. I used to do this back on when I was just broadcasting out of my office, man. Our production guy, Conrad, just immediately laughs. It's like, yeah, that's opening ourselves up a little bit. But so we were talking earlier. What's your most hated meme from Twitch or otherwise? I know yours. And when we started this game, you probably heard a little bit of laughter. Yeah. What is it? Go ahead. Tell us.
Oh God, I can't stand that boys shit, man. I hate it so much. Like if I'm playing the game and someone's like, well, we lost, boys, after one death. I just mute him. I'm done with you. Yeah, exactly.
You are not a human being.
Actually, even if they even say it like we won, boys, I'm like, no, just you are muted. Do not say that. I'm so sick of it. So actually now, and I actually find myself sometimes wanting to say it just because it feels natural.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that's it, boys. You know.
Yep.
But I catch myself and I change it to
the culture.
I change it to ladies and gentlemen. That's what
ladies and there you go.
Yeah, we won, ladies and gents, or friends. That works too. We won, friends. I just will not say boys.
I see folks is mine. You know.
That works too. Yeah.
Coming from the southern upbringing. Sup, folks? How we doing, folks?
Y'all.
Yep. God damn it, y'all. But
y'all are feeders. You hear?
Tier, that word used in.
No, that's the one you hate, right?
Yes. If I hear trench tier one more time, I might just claw my ears and eyes out so I can never hear or see it.
In 2 minutes, the Twitch chat's going to be trench tier.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Yep. AC trench tier.
And I said it too, which makes it worse. But anyway, here we go. Finally, lag issues have been resolved. The Brew and the Van score Lich bottom. He's trying to ward, but there's an early ward actually that will spot out any kind of vision that Van score decides to put down. Yeah, but I don't think he didn't see that ward at all place, I don't think. Yeah, so that, look at that. Ping, 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 ping. He's still pinging.
Yep. Look, here it is, guys. Yeah. There it is.
Wow. Ward.
Yeah,
look at you.
That's actually hilarious. Ward.
What's he writing? Wrecked?
Wrecked. Oh, excellent stuff.
They're having some fun, and
so
we are too. Yeah.
You know, it's like as inconvenient as it is, you know, because whenever you cast, you kind of get locked into a mode. It's nice sometimes to just chop it up like we just did. Just take a minute and laugh and make jokes and provoke Twitch chat because God knows they're the friendliest people in the world. Horn blows, though. How about we get Game 2 underway? This is, once again, Game 2. Fnatic leads the series 1-0. They get a win here. They advance into the upper bracket finals. Empire fighting for a Game 3 if they can. It'll be a duo lane approach coming out from Empire. Always want to fly on the Ancient Apparition. He'll be supporting Silent on the PA up in that top safe lane. Resolution taking the Timbersaw mid as anticipated, and as you said, Vanscore and Mag on the Brew down here in bottom lane. So far for Fnatic, let's see what they're going to do. They got No Tail all by his lonesome for the moment. Hani is he moving into the jungle? Is he going to, what's he going to do here?
Is he going to toss? Oh my God, is this going to work? This is so next level. This is Fnatic. By the way, in the meantime, Trixie gets first blood?
I'm not going to lie.
Okay, that was Skywrath that rotated up there.
I'm not going to lie. I was watching Hani. I wanted to see what he was going to do. Yeah, he's using the toss to pull the creeps.
This is exactly what I said when you don't pre-skill. Remember I was talking about that?
Yeah.
You pre-skill, if you have an idea and you have a plan. This was clearly premeditated. So, shit, another pause. But that is just so Fnatic.
I have never seen this.
That's awesome. That's actually really good. I actually feel like we might see that a lot because that's really useful.
Holy crap!
And it's totally fail-safe. Like you can't mess it up, right? Like it's so easy to do.
Yeah, I'm like, I looked over as this happens, and I see our producer Conrad doing the mind blown, motion with the hands. And sorry I missed first blood, guys, but I was intrigued by what Hani was up to down here, and this is fantastic. So Tiny pulling mid lane using toss. Have you seen this before? Am I non-observant?
I haven't seen it before, but I knew it could be done. But I haven't seen it before in a game like this. Especially in mid, it's like very effective.
Holy crap.
Really smart stuff there. I mean, you could probably do it bottom too, but mid, whenever you can pull mid, it's like even better because mid really needs that experience, right? Like Resolution's going to lose almost a full level because of it. So it's actually a really big deal.
So anyway, yeah, talking about the fact that Fnatic managed to draw first blood there. And yeah, Skywrath Mage showing it off. And again, very, very sorry we missed that, guys. But I was quite intrigued watching this Tiny just because it's something brand new to me. And flame me if you like, but I was watching what I felt was the most interesting at the moment. 1-0, and another pause. Did we get a reason for this pause? Wah, still lag. That stinks. So hopefully we'll get all of this sorted out shortly, guys. Again, it has nothing to do with us, and thankfully it's not because of servers. It just must be a bad connection for our poor brewmaster. If it is still him, as a matter of fact. But yeah, that's fun stuff. Fun stuff. We got to switch back into fun mode. Did we get any good questions from Twitch chat?
No, but they did spam Trenched here.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yep.
Tweet it at me. I dare you. Dare you. Blow my Twitter up. Trenched here.
Oh my God. Okay, so top lane. This is really smart by Fnatic. Again, I talked about this at the end of last game, but I feel like when they're much more logical and have lanes that through common sense they know will work, they play very well. Like their actual play and talent is so high. It's just a matter of using that with a good draft and appropriate lanes.
Right.
So like they knew, like I talked about, you don't pick a Lich and go tri lane. You always dual lane. It's probably not going to be mid because they had a Timbersaw not also being played by Resolution. So they, in a sense, gave away their lanes. Well, Fnatic spotted that out, and they put a very strong dual lane themselves actually top, which clearly beats this PA and AA. Like that's a terrible lane. Very, very bad lane, especially against the Skybreath support, which we saw Fly just go ham on yesterday. Oh my God! All right, it's been a crazy morning. Anyway,
okay, so like Mag is continuing to lag here, and apparently very, very badly. Like it's not even like, oh, it's a little slow. Like
that sounds like a personal thing. Like
it has to be because
a personal. Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully we'll get things back together. I mean, there's only so much we can break down. We kind of covered most of it during the draft. What?
Chat. Yeah, I used to not like Fiend as much, but meeting Conrad too. He's obsessed
Conrad,
with Twitch
Conrad
and Twitter.
Fiends so hard.
Did you see the parallel universe one? Okay, I think that one's funny. Anyway, yeah, he says he's having some ping problems and goes up and down every second. Yeah, it's probably an ISP issue.
I was gonna say reset router? Question mark?
That's like the go-to to do anything. How about reset your computer or restart your computer? So it fixes everything.
No, let it set. No, don't just restart it. Turn it off and let it set for an hour, and then come back and see if it fixed. Like maybe that's me dating my. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. Might be dating myself with that. Back in the day, before Google was really a thing, that was always the answer because you couldn't just figure out what was wrong with your PC back in the day if you didn't know a lot about it. And I certainly didn't. And the answer was always just turn it off, let it set for a little while, come back, try it again. And I swear to you, half the time it worked.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is fun out of Hani and using his clarity, as we can see, and getting a fair amount of experience out of it, too. Trixie playing way up under Empire's tower, just does not care, like you said, with that stout shield and the brown boots first. There's just not a whole lot they can do. I mean, Stifling Dagger is okay for harass, but that right click out of Ancient Apparition is not going to be accomplishing much. And how do you feel about the laning phase so far, especially with Hani doing what he's doing, his magic on the Tiny and mid?
Well, Fnatic is owning it. Like, Meepo's now got extra levels. He can just spam double poof onto the wave. He's got to be kind of careful because actually one of those Meepos is relatively low. Resolution is only level 2, though, and that's a direct result of what Tiny was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Excalibur gets bottle a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he bought boots actually first, but laning phase definitely going in favor of Fnatic, I feel. Also, No-Tail got a really good creep early on. Like this ice armor, bam, 8 armor for him. Not to mention the slow it provides. So they can't really kill him because he's just so tanky when he activates that. Tiny getting some good farm. Did he actually miss that one? I think he actually missed the pull, but that's really annoying. Anyway, as far as top lane goes, they obviously won that just in a sense because they got first blood. Yeah. I will say on paper, the AA chilling touch plus the extra attack bonus you get from Phantom Strike is actually really nice. It actually works pretty well in getting a ton of damage out quickly. Right. But they're just too squishy against the Skywrath.
Well, a simple stomp brings that to an end is the problem. Like you blink and you try to engage, you just stomp and run away. Like it's really tough to make that work even with Stifling Dagger, I think. Yeah, that's what I say, like it's good on paper, but sometimes it's not as practical. Again, especially against this lane that they already died to. So, yeah, it looks like Skywrath, he's walking, trying to figure out what he's wanting to do. He literally keeps walking back and forth, but there's a courier going top. Tranquil Boots most likely for Trixie, and yeah, kind of a little stagnant here. Hani, he's trying to, this is like, what do you do against this? This is ridiculous. Big Daddy, No-Tail in some trouble at bottom, and nope, never mind, Scorched Earth, more than enough, but yeah. Like, he stacked the camp, and he got the pull. This is going to be a catapult pull.
It's actually unfair. Like, it really is. Because it's like, you can't mess it up. I mean, kind of, because he put it through the trees right there.
I mean, what can you do to stop it other than just ward the camp?
You have to ward it. Yeah, you have to ward the camp. It's like when we saw there was an issue. I'm not going to remember the issue, but there was an instance where Earthshaker would all the time on Radiant, especially block creeps to the left.
Silent. Caught with the stomp, a double edge, and brought down. Another kill for this top lane. Trixie is going to be hit with the cold feet proc, and he's trying to lose him in the vision. He's going to get away. In fact, always when a fly's dead. Ouch. That's going to be 3-0 in this top lane alone. Mid is being dominated at the moment, mostly because of this great little trick. And yeah, I mean, hell, Resolution is #1 in terms of overall CS right now on a Meepo mid. So he's not only getting levels, he's not only benefiting from that aspect of mid, he's actually got 26 CS right now. That is ridiculous.
This is, yeah, when you have double Meepo early on, and because he had it at level 3 way faster than Timbersaw because of that, that stuff that Tiny was doing, he can just spam poof, boom, just go right away, spam poof, then go to the jungle, and he will not get killed. Like, you just can't do enough damage to him quickly. Watch, he'll just go poof poof, and then go back to the jungle.
Yep.
Like, what do you do? Like, in that exact
instance, can't get near it. The damage output's so high, you can't even try to contest it, really.
Well, even if you did, like, you can't contest it fast enough. Like,
right.
It's just instant. Not to mention also stacking's going on for Scout. Look at this. Is just like, I feel like a lot of teams are going to start to do this.
Yep. There's a stomp and make it 4-0 in this lane alone. Van score's there, but Fly's a little low, but he's going to be able to scurry away. Boots first, and Tranks are now done on that Centaur, by the way. I guess if there's anything, Mag's doing okay. He's got 25 CS despite his lag. No Tail still standing right in his face thanks to Scorched Earth, and Mag can only do this so much. Doesn't have a bottle, has one salve up, and yeah, it looks like Hani, they're trying to contest this, but yeah, Hani just comes back into the tier 2, and he's perfectly safe, and even takes CS while he's there. He's almost level 3, and he has done nothing but stack camps and toss creeps.
Yeah, he's actually low level, but like in comparison to Excalibur, but look at it, he's level 7 on the Meepo compared to the 5 on Resolution. This is just, it's really devastating. I could say that, I was thinking like, wow, a lot of teams are going to do this now. You do have to invest in a support Tiny, though. That's the only drawback. But I don't think Fnatic has a problem with that. Like, they love doing wonky stuff like this. Hani, if it's especially Hani, who plays support and just understands when he needs to move around and how, it just works out quite nicely. Big Daddy down here, he's level 6 and 1 creep. 1 creep and he'll have Doom. He'll hit this and Doom. Bam.
There it is. And they've even got the Tiny here if they need it. Yep, there's the toss, doing what damage you can. They don't even need it, though. Empire is going to be down 5-zip as Fly takes that. 2-0-3 for him. And did they get another kill? No, finally they got on the board. I was going to say Empire finally collapsing on top and being able to track down that Centaur when they realized he was alone. Resolution will go ahead and grab himself an Invis rune now. But yeah, back to talking about this, the support Tiny. The thing is, I actually don't feel like it's that bad of a transition. Like, he's going to be a little slow, but if he's able to get some levels and a little bit of gold, honestly, all he needs is like boots and a blink dagger. If he gets arc boots, blink dagger, he's a phenomenal blink initiator. Yeah,
he really is. Not to mention, like, you can set things up very easily with a long-range concussive shot.
Exactly.
So it's very effective.
Well, especially with Centaur, and it's one of those things you see it in pubs and it's kind of trolly, but he can actually just toss the Centaur too. Like, if he gets a blink dagger up, he can set up shop, get ready to initiate. They get some vision. He tosses Centaur, who stomps immediately. Then he blinks in and follows with an avalanche. Like, that's legit.
And look at, again, this is what we talked about yesterday with Fnatic. They're so good about stacking triple camp or triple stack in the regular hard camp, stacked there by Meepo. The bottom one, he actually missed that stack, but nonetheless, they tried it. Everything is getting stacked, and Meepo just disintegrates stacks like this, especially early on, with just his spells. No farm required to do this.
Yep, and there you go. Excalibur just cleaning house, and Empire has got to be scrambling right now. PA is farming fairly well. It's worth mentioning, despite how devastating this lane has been for them. She is #2 on the CS board at 40, and in fact, Mag's right there behind him. So if there is anything that Fnatic's given up, it's farm on anyone but Meepo. So they're really going to be kind of all in, at least for a while, on Meepo being able to perform. But Van score, eating some damage. Resolution doesn't really, yep, there we go. I was going to say, should have the damage output to finish off Fly, but here comes Meepo. Van score's going to end up dropping. Stampede's going to be blown. Hani going to try to run. Excalibur, oh wow, he's actually quite low here. But Resolution can't reliably really try to dive into the tier 1 at this level. No Tail a little slow in his own farm. He's actually picked up a Sage's Mask to go with his Tranquils, and he has picked up a Glove of Haste, so very likely this will be a Midas.
Yeah, I would say that actually No Tail's doing quite well down here. That
All
nice
things
skill.
considered.
Yeah. There's the Arcane Boots for Tiny, so that's good for him. Excalibur, yeah, that was a very, very close play. He actually poofed in, I think, a Meepo and just didn't realize the health of it. It was really low. And then, like I said, Timbersaw is actually really good for burst damage against Meepo. But again, look at his CS. He actually, he's so close to hitting 100 CS before 10 minutes, which is like
insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. He's going to be close, but like if he stacks some more camps, Mag is actually in the vicinity.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Silence. Yep, there's the Mystic Flare. Yeah,
he's
Mag's
level
dead.
6 on Fly? My God. That is so early.
Oh, Fly.
He's 7, actually.
That top lane went so well that he came down and got the kill at bottom, too. So that's the second time he's killed him. They will be able to track down Hani as Resolution rotates through. Very low mana right now. Has a Chakram up in 2 seconds. Excalibur at half health. Here comes Fly. Hits him with the silence. And now with that haste rune, Resolution, is he going to sell out for it? He's got a lot of enemy faces around. Excalibur is going to go ahead and poof. Fly doesn't have enough mana to do much of anything. In fact, he might be in some trouble. He's got help on the way, but it is slow in the coming. Here comes the rest of the Meepos. Can they hit the Earthbind? Range on it, right at the outside. Big Daddy's right there with him. No-Tail has Doom, and he gets hit with the slow. Now Trixie's there. There's going to be the Stomp and the Doom. Great convergence, great way they split them. They split up there to guarantee that no matter where he went, he was going to be locked down. That's going to make it 8-3 now. PA is being given relative free farm, and normally you go 53 CS in 9.5 minutes, not bad. Not that great compared to the 80 of Meepo.
He's got 80 CS at 9 minutes with a killing spree on a Meepo.
Oh,
on a freaking
I didn't even think about that.
Like if this was, first of all, if it was any other hero, it would still be ridiculous. But it's on a Meepo, a hero that
Dude, he's more than halfway. He's like 3/4 of the way to his scepter.
Yeah, he's going to have it really, really fast. And it's just like, you don't want this hero to get a good start at all. I mean, you don't want anyone to, obviously. But this hero, you think of, like, this is why, like, there's a stigma about Meepo. Like, lol, Meepo pick, we're going to lose. Just in the back of your mind, you think, because he's not that great in laning stage early on, unless you really know what you're doing. But even then, like, levels 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, he's, like, really bad. You can easily capitalize on that. But like I said, with the start and the cheeky plays from Fnatic, specifically Hani tossing the creeps from the jungle there, like, again, it closes that gap from where he's bad to where he's okay and good.
Right.
And he made it past that, and now it's with flying colors with 90 CS at 10 minutes with a killing spree.
Here we go. They might have a chance to get him now, though. Empire gets eyes on him, and yep, that's going to be a Meepo kill. They needed that pretty desperately, actually. Up atop, though, they're engaging on the Silent. Can they catch him? Yep, there's that toss. Had the Stomp in 3 seconds, didn't even need it. And I actually really like it. It's one of those things that seems goofy and kind of cheesy, but it's really effective, especially at this level, the Centaur and the Tiny combination, because it's basically a free Blink Dagger. Yeah. Better than a Blink Dagger, really. The Resolution going to eat a little bit of a Mystic Flare, still taking a lot of damage underneath this Tier 1, using the Timber Chain to try and get away. He's going to make it away with less than 100 HP. And Fnatic now taking control of the map as best they can. Resolution did not TP out. They're going to be bringing a third in. That'll be Hani showing back up. And Resolution is actually just continuing to farm the jungle. Very, very low health for him. Excalibur has 1 Meepo down here. Mag is level 6, and it's kind of ballsy. Oh, wow, look at the damage output. Mag's in trouble once again, and he has to use Split just to get away.
Yeah. I mean, he had to. That was the right play. But nonetheless, if you're Meepo, you're happy, you're fine with that. Like, you don't even need to kill him. That means that your team is fine for, like, the next 150 seconds or whatever that cooldown is.
Well, and the thing about Brew is he definitely... you need a lot out of him early on, and every time you force a split that doesn't give you anything, it just makes that window of time through which you can execute much smaller.
Yep, I would agree with that. Nice creep from Big Daddy No-Tail. I like saying that all together.
Big Daddy
because
No-Tail.
I instantly see his name and I just want to say Big Daddy, but then I forget it's No-Tail, so then I just say Big Daddy No-Tail.
That'll work.
But he's got the crit creep, so it's going to help everyone on his team, not to mention Excalibur. And he should have his Ags here relatively quickly. I'm trying to look for the main Meepo. There we go. Yeah, he needs just about 700 gold for that Ags. So it's going to be about 13-minute Ags, which is with treads. It's pretty insane. And a bottle, actually. He likes to get the bottle. And it's actually really nice to have one because you can use it on your other Meepos and keep them up and running.
Oh, hang on. There's that Toss Avalanche. Stampede deployed as well. Not even Toss Avalanche. That toss up. Hang on. A ulti. Oh, no! Missed him by the skin of his teeth. Mag able to finish it up nonetheless. But the toss Stomp out of Tiny and Centaur and securing the kill onto Silent. They did end up giving up their Centaur in response, but I think they're honestly going to be fairly okay with that because right now they're just making room for Meepo. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like Doom, like this Doom ability is going to be so effective against especially PA that they are kind of all in a sense on Meepo, but they do have very, very strong spells that don't require any farm. I always talk about that a lot, but it's very true, especially this game. Skywrath Mage. I mean, you need a little bit of farm of Skywrath because the spells cost so much damn mana. But
Scepter done.
Scepter
13.5, by the way.
And the blink on to the Brew, but he doesn't have split. Actually, he has split coming up here pretty soon, actually. So the cooldown is not as long as I thought.
Resolution's out there with an invis. And there's the toss. So long. The stomp is there. Double edge as well. Maybe extending a little bit too much as Resolution was there. They didn't know that, but there's the Chain Frost. Does good damage, and Trixie will end up dead as well. So their grasp not living up to the reach that time. Little bit too much of a toss. And Empire drawing things a little closer to even, but the Meepo is already on a path to critical mass. We can see that is a nice little dip down. Hang on, Mag's going to go ahead and clap split. They may have a chance to capitalize here. Doom on the Resolution, though. No-Tail in trouble, gets off the Scorched Earth. That's going to regen him up pretty sufficiently. And he may even end up, Resolution may end up dying to this. It's going to be very close. They do get the Doom behind it, and the tower does end up dying as well. In the meantime, in mid, we can see Meepo going to work. There's going to be, the AA ulti connects, and that one Meepo is very, very low. I don't think the damage is going to be there to finish him off. So the tower ends up dropping nonetheless. So action beginning to break out all across the map. And I don't expect this to really slow down at all. And this is one of the weaknesses of PA. She does need time to come online. And as of right now, Silent is not a whole lot more than just the target.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go Battlefield, because why would he build a full Aquila if he wanted to? It seems like he would be wasting gold. Oh, there's the blink with Fnatic Fly. He gets the ultimate on top of Meepos coming in. So I say blink, but it was really like the toss. So
yeah, I was actually watching the top, and I have no idea what Trixie was doing there.
What's that?
Trixie. I don't know. Those who were watching on stream saw it. It was just a little bizarre kind of run around from Trixie. He almost killed Ancient Apparition, forced the TP out.
Oh, okay.
Should have been a kill, I do believe. I think he was worried about the cold feet proc. Nonetheless, he's got his Hood of Defiance up, and it still remains Fnatic's lead and Fnatic's game to set the pace for 5,000 gold. The lead experience a little bit closer now, closer to 2,500.
Uh-oh, Fanscore actually could be in trouble here. Hani couldn't find him quickly enough, and he actually walks by. I think he could have just burst him down. Like, he doesn't have any magic resistance. Oh, he's only level 6, though, so maybe not. It would have been close.
He's getting close to that Blink Dagger, though. I think Blink Dagger is going to be a big, big item for him.
I still think he should have got Grow, though. I think he should have went 2, 3, and then Grow. I think it's just too good not to pass up, so. Anyway, he's going for the massive damage with spells approach. Now level 4 toss. Can toss someone in with extra damage now.
I just love the fact that they're actually... It's one of those things you theory crafted. It's working out well.
Yeah.
They're like Trixie skipped Blink Dagger entirely and went straight for Hood of Defiance. And there you go. Tossed in, stomp, double edge, and that's a dead Ancient Apparition. And the thing is, as deadly and as unbelievably hard to deal with as that is, once Hani gets his Blink Dagger, he's going to be able to do that and then blink in after it.
Yeah, it's actually made it so Trixie doesn't even have to buy a blink. He bought the full hood instead. Resolution in a lot of trouble.
There it is again.
Oh my god.
Mystic Flare.
Dear Lord. There comes the Chain Frost. Nice job by Big Daddy No-Tail running back into it.
Daddy No-Tail.
Phantom Assassin actually gets a pick off onto Hani. Big Daddy No-Tail again in some trouble, actually. He doesn't have a blink up. He's going for a refresher or something, or maybe an Orchids. He gets chumped. Mag is on a killing spree now. Concussive shot. Not really going to do too much. So they're still staying in this, but again, the problem still stands. Is that Meepo is going crazy. 175 CS, my god.
17 minutes, man.
That's actually over double of the next highest in the game.
That's more than 10 a minute.
Yeah.
More than 10 a minute, literally. That's insane.
It's really scary. This is not a problem you can just, like, forget about and think it'll go away. Like, you have to address this.
We're at 17 minutes in, and his GPM is 650. He's got 650 GPM. That is 200 roughly higher than a Doom that has Midas and Devour. That's ridiculous.
The thing is actually, like I mentioned, so there's some decent Meepo counters, like PA if he went for a Battle Fury. Very, very early on, it could be good. Brew's actually not that bad against Meepo as well. Timbersaw's okay, but the supports are awful. Like, AA's ult is, I guess, okay, but as far as, like, dying to Meepo, like, what do they do?
Yep.
Until you get an Ags on Lich, nothing.
Well, the fact
and Lich
of the
will
matter
never
is,
get it this game.
Draft or not, whenever you feed 4 kills in your top farming lane to start the game, things are not going to go well most of the time. No-Tail engaged upon. There's going to be the AA ultimate that will catch him, actually, but not enough help around to really make it worthwhile. Got the crit on the Stifling Dagger. There is nothing. I don't think there's critting on a Stifling Dagger is one of the best feelings in Dota. It's up there with like Lion's ultimate and Culling Blade. It just feels so good. The toss ain't get a crit. I love it. Hani Nope.
Got a blink now.
Yep, has that blink. Has it? He reveals it, so they're at least going to be aware of it. But that Centaur tiny combo just got a lot more hard to deal with. Up at top, Trixie overextending a bit and punished. No, able to TP away. Thought they were going to have the damage, but they did not.
That was really close on the cold feet. Nice decision by him to TP out, but that was really weird of him to stay there. Like it could have easily not worked out that he TP'd out there.
Yep.
So at least able to rectify that problem by making a fast decision to TP out before the cold feet procs. So no harm, no foul, or whatever that's called. Whatever it is.
No, you had it. No harm, no foul. So how about a 12K gold lead at less than 20 minutes in? That's the status of things right now for Fnatic. If you're Empire, man, what's the plan? Give me some words of encouragement.
You have to smoke gank and address this Meepo. Look, it seems like we'll keep talking about this, but now it's 215 CS. It's insane. It's just so crazy.
It is, yeah.
But again, you cannot ignore him.
Christ.
Now he's going to go for a sheep stick, which will have very, very soon on top of Blink Ags. You have to address him. Like, this is not someone like, well, we'll just take it to late. Like, you cannot take it to late game, I feel, with Meepo, especially with a player that knows what he's doing.
Dude, his net worth is 12,600. To put that in perspective, we're less than 20 minutes in, and he's nearly doubling the highest farm on anyone on Empire. Like, sometimes you get to that point, but it's usually like a 45-minute anti-mage or something like that. Very rarely do you see it this early, especially with a number as big as 12,000. He is huge.
You know what the scariest part is? Oh, I actually missed that, but Meepo gets a very easy kill onto the... Oh, God, the Phantom Assassin. That's the hero that you need to not die.
Stampede used, resolution, the target, silence, doomed, and that used to be a Timbersaw. They're continuing to pursue this out. Trixie has been spotted by Mag, though. Mag does have split if he wants to use it. Looks like he wants to back off, and wisely so. He gets silenced, but able to blink away nonetheless, and able to hook back up with his team. But Fnatic has completely taken over the jungle, and Meepo's just going to go solo Roshan.
Good Lord. Doesn't even have a Vlad's.
Doesn't need one.
He's need one. He's going to have Sheepstick. Yeah, he'll have Sheepstick after this. So he'll have an Aegis and a Sheep, Blink, Axe, Treads, 20 minutes.
Yep.
I don't think you can beat that. I really don't. And what I was going to say is the scariest thing, honestly, is they picked us in the first phase. They said, hey, we're picking Meepo. Come at us.
Yeah, we dare you to stop it.
And they, this is what happens. I mean, you do have to attribute a lot of that to what Hani did. Like, it really, like, I have to say that the big word is, like, probably unfair. Like, you have to ward the camps. But
Trixie and Fly dominated top two. I mean, like, they slowed down PA to the point that as good as everything else was going, the fact that PA took that much longer to ever have a chance to get online certainly is a factor, too.
Yeah, and I guess suppose you could say, it's not law, it's not unfair, like, you can just ward the camps. And I suppose that is true because if you recognize the composition and maybe suspect it, it's usually obvious when it's going to be played as a support tiny, just because of the composition of heroes. But if it's not, then you don't know whether to ward that or not. Or even if you can, like what if they really want to do this every single game and they just run 5 heroes right at that bottom river where the ward is? Like how if you just prevent them from warding that, what can you do? Like you actually can't do anything. So it's very ridiculous. It's very hard to deal with, and I wonder if we'll see it more in the future.
Yeah, I wonder, can you? I don't. The toss range is sufficient.
It's full range at level 1. I feel like it used to not be like that.
Could you do it on the Dire side?
In mid?
Yeah. Like from this, like from the hard camp right here, because the toss range is actually pretty long. Like
it'd be very close. Long. I feel like you'd have to pull it.
Hang on.
I bet you could. Yeah, I bet you could.
Brewmaster using the split, Fly's in trouble. He should be cleaned up through all this. There's going to be a stifling dagger. Actually, the Yules takes him off the map for a minute. Now there's going to be a Doom and a huge Mystic Flare that helps clean up the PA. That's 2 down immediately. They lost Fly amidst all of it. But now with Excalibur there's no way this Brewmaster survives. He'll be earthbinded. There you go. Caught from behind. Toss. Didn't even need to avalanche. Saving the mana just for a rainy day, I suppose. Pipe done on the Centaur. And this series done, it begins to seem. Top 3 in net worth all belong to Fnatic. Meepo is at 15,000 net worth. If you take the top 2 farmers on the side of Empire, add their net worth together, it is not as farmed as Excalibur at 23 minutes on a mid Meepo. Ban the Meepo if you play against Excalibur. It's that simple.
You really have to. But again, I would say his play is awesome. He knows the rotations. He knows how to farm. Still, you have to attribute a lot to Hani and what he's done. As far as theory crafting now, I bet this is going to happen like all the time in pubs. Because you can pull it with a lot of camps. You can pull this new medium camp, whatever you want to call it, in Dire. You could pull that to the lane. You could pull it bottom as well. You can pull. I bet you could pull mid on Dire as well.
I think you can.
I bet you could if you get some finesse. But like, it's a lot harder than the Radiant one. That's for sure.
Like I'd have to see it in practice. But I mean, the range you can toss stuff is actually, I don't know the number off the top of my head. Do you? Like I know it's so huge. I don't even know if it's listed. Yeah, it doesn't list it in the tooltip. No, range 1300. 1300. Up, hang on. Always want to fly. Caught out. Brought down. And Mag. Hello, Mystic Flare. Fly has just been an absolute monster.
Yeah.
For game after game now. And Silence next on the list.
This is. I don't think that Empire can win this. I think they need to. They should probably.
They could. Yeah, there it is. I was gonna say they could just about fountain farm right now.
Yep.
So Fnatic, who for the most part came in, kind of snuck into our playoffs to begin with. They came in as a middle of the road seed. Matched up against Na'Vi, put it on them, got the win 2-1. Now they meet Empire, who was a direct seed, a #2 overall finisher on our group stage, and a bye into the semifinals of the upper bracket, and they just trounced them. 24 minutes all the time it took. But to tell you the truth, this is one of those games that felt like it was over long before the GG was typed. Excalibur continues to build his reputation and without a doubt impress and build a fan base. He's at 10-1-4 at the end of this game. Level 23. He was right at that 1 level a minute mark once again.
Yeah.
And his GPM beats T-Dubs without a Midas, just on a Meepo at 24 minutes in. 784 XP per minute. 4 digits. 1,100 XP per minute.
That's insane.
Are you kidding me? And yeah, pubs, look out. If you see a tiny, assume mid's going to get pulled.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Okay, we talked about that a lot just because it was interesting and fun to watch, right? But there were still other very big problems that game. Like, top lane was actually a huge problem for Empire. Because had PA got complete free farm and went for like a really fast Battle Fury at 10 minutes, they actually could have maybe, you know, contested the Meepo and fought him early on, just because PA would be farming almost just as fast, if not faster, with an early Battle Fury like that. But they totally lost top. So despite the mid antics that were going on, I think the bigger problem, honestly, was just not being prepared for that dual lane top. They were caught with their pants down, honestly. They're like, oh, we're going to do dual lanes and get extra farm and shut them down bottom. But they just didn't expect that aggression coming out from Fnatic in the top lane. And like you mentioned, Fly was kind of like, I would say, the unsung hero in in this whole series.
Oh, yeah.
Just obviously did work with the numbers last game. This game, he was involved in almost every single kill with 17 kill involvement. And just the damage output from his ultimate was on spot on every single time. So just, I really am impressed with how Fnatic has been playing recently. I really am.
Well, you're not the only one, man. Myself, and I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching is impressed. And they've impressed their way into the upper bracket finals now. They moved 1 series away from making an appearance in our grand finals. Empire manages to, well, they looked okay in game 1. But game 1 went too long. Fnatic grinded that one out. And then, of course, the dominant performance here in game 2. The result is Empire falls to the lower bracket, and they now face elimination. Speaking of elimination, our next match coming up, Na'Vi versus Rocks Kiss. One team goes home, one team keeps their hopes alive here in the Western Challenge Playoffs. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers. Beside me, as always, is Trout. And yeah, another 2 best-of-3 day for us. And hope you guys are having as much fun as we are. It's going to be 2 best-of-3s all the way from now until Tuesday. Tuesday will be our best-of-5 grand finals. And hope you'll join us for every minute of that action. We're about 30 minutes out from our next series, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. Hope you guys can do the same. Go find a stream to watch, but make sure you're back here in exactly 30 minutes as Na'Vi will be taking on Rocks Kiss. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. I'm at AC at AYESEE. He's at Tralfdota, TRALFDOTA. Again, we'll see you back in 30 minutes here at the HyperX D2L Western Challenge Playoffs.